Hey there, bosses. Welcome to another edition of Marcy K. MomBOSS, where I help you live your best BYO boss life. And today I'm excited for part 2 of the podcast I was on, Entrepreneur's Roadmap to Success. If you didn't catch episode 1, watch it later or watch it now. I don't care, just watch it. Come with me, let's see part 2.
Hey guys, and welcome to our podcast. We are back with Marcy for part 2 of our podcast, talking to her. Super excited that she's here. Just wanting to introduce her real quick. She is the founder and chief boss at BYO Boss Life, a monthly subscription and online community circled around her custom planner and follow-up system created exclusively for female entrepreneurs to live their very best life. She is a wife and a mom to 7. Yes, I said 7 children. She's also a communications graduate of Sacramento State University. She enjoys working part-time as a success coach at her local college, mentoring fellow small business owners, as well as marketing her holistic anti-aging products and growing her BYO Boss Life company from home. She lives in the Pacific Northwest. Welcome, Marcy. I'm so glad
Thank
you're
you.
back.
Yes.
Talking all things about entrepreneuring well and our roadmap to success. So super glad that you are back with us. I know we, in the first session, you talked to us a little bit about your previous kind of road to becoming an entrepreneur. So if you guys have not listened to that yet, go ahead and put that on your playlist and go back and check that one out. But give us a short little recap for those who haven't heard it yet about how you started this journey.
I kind of stumbled upon it, the whole entrepreneurship world, by getting into direct selling when my life went from plan A to plan B, and I really never wanted a plan B. Like, it was not in my plan, right? And it was just one of those things that I had to do to help my husband who got hurt. Our house was in foreclosure, and I ended up falling in love with the ability to purchase a franchise for very little money and grow it myself from home, and really all dependent on me, that I didn't have a boss. I didn't have somebody tell me what to do and when I had to do it, that I had to take responsibility for that and grow as fast as I wanted. And that just kind of hooked me really good.
Yeah, and you had some really early successes as well. So that, I'm sure, just kind of made you feel like, I got this. This is good. This kind of feels like, you kind of get in this cadence, right? And it feels like you're not capped. Someone's not telling you how much you can make and when you can make that. So that's a pretty good feeling, right?
Exactly. And, I think part of the reason was I had a big why. I had to save my house from the bank taking it from me and my 7 kids and my hurt husband. Like, if that isn't a reason to do what's uncomfortable, then I don't know what is. Yeah. So anytime anybody joins any type of entrepreneurial business, whether it's direct selling or making jewelry to sell on Etsy or, even doing Uber, right? Like, you have to have a reason why. You have to have some type of end goal of what you're doing this for, so that when you get uncomfortable and when things don't feel good, you have a reason to push through those.
Yeah, so that's definitely sure. And I know we talked last time just about the time that we're in. We're kind of all in this coronavirus in 2020, this whole feeling of like, millions of people have lost their jobs. They have maybe are working from home. It's a complete, like, my whole family's at home. Okay. So my husband's works with geriatric aged patients, so he can't be with them, so he's working from home. I've got my 2 kiddos here because they're out of school, and I work from home. So you've got this whole different dynamic, and then you've got people looking at, we talked briefly about this in the last episode, people are looking for different opportunities like that they may have never looked at before because they have this huge why, like they want to put food on the table. They want to make sure that they're able to be there for their kids. And so a big why, getting us down to rock bottom really makes us think about what we want. I mean, that's the whole reason I'm in the business I'm in. I mean, I didn't want to experience the corporate world anymore. And, my my now 14-year-old, then, younger child hid my cell phone because she was like, I want you to be present. You're not present.
Yeah.
You're on call 24/7. I don't like this. So your why is such a huge, huge thing. So, well, let's jump right into this. So tell us, are there any reasons that have really helped you in your journey as a business owner and entrepreneur? We talked a little bit about your direct selling, but we also kind of just barely touched on your BYO Boss business and the coaching that you do. So are there any resources that have really helped you out in this journey?
Yes. The first thing that comes to my mind, and it's a big one, is personal development. When I first got into this, I kept hearing that from people that, were in places that I wanted to be, leaders and mentors that I had kind of attached myself to. It was like personal development. You got to do personal development. You got to read 10 pages of a good book every day, and listen to podcasts or do these things. And I was like, that is for hippies and weirdos. Like, I'm not doing that. That was really what my thought process was. And it took me a while to go, okay, fine. Because I went, if I've heard it, I started hearing it so much from people that were just phenomenal. And they had, again, gotten to that place that I knew I was going to get to. And I went, well, golly, if they all do this, who am I to say that it's not worth it?
Yeah.
So the very first book I read, and it's still the number one book that I tell anybody, I don't care what you're doing, if you jump into the entrepreneur world, is to read a book by Jeff Olson. Google him. He's amazing. He's even called the millionaire maker. Yes, he's the CEO of my personal company that I do direct selling for, but truly his book is life-changing. It's called The Slight Edge. I don't know if you've heard of it, Shauna.
Yeah.
But the reason I love this one so much is, yes, you can apply it to your business, but you can really apply it to anything in your life, anything you're trying to change, any goal or habit that you're trying to create or get rid of. And what this book really says, and again, why it speaks to me and why I highly recommend it to everybody, is it talks about that slight edge and mastering the mundane, doing those tiny little things every day, making those tiny little decisions every day that in that very moment might not seem important. So like if you were talking about maybe you're going on a diet, like eating, the French fries out of your kid's bag by the handful isn't really going to make a huge difference today.
Right.
But if you do it every day, right, that slight edge will either go up in terms of progress and it'll go fast, or all of a sudden, boom, you're down.
Yeah.
And so when you can take that thought process, again, of mastering those mundane little things every day, because there is no quantum leap. If you have anybody telling you, you do this, you're going to rise to success, run from them, right?
Everyone's looking for that magic blue or red pill, like it's just going to completely transform it. And it's one word, it's 4 letters, and it's probably most people don't want to hear, but it's the word work. You have to work.
Yeah.
And I say all the time that small steps made with intention seem very small and mundane, but then when you stop and look back, you've come like so far from where you originally started, and you're like, oh my gosh. And then the small mundane steps don't feel so small and mundane anymore.
Yeah. And those are the ones that will launch you up or launch you down.
Yeah.
Again, it's this little tiny thing. So yeah, that's why that book opened my heart to personal development, because I applied those little principles and I was able to visually see, holy cow, like this works. Okay. Maybe I'm a weirdo now or a hippie. I don't know, but I am all about personal development. And it's become part of my life. It's become part of who I am. So I would say that's definitely the resource that really has propelled me.
Well, there is a quote, and I cannot remember who I'll remember it as soon as I get off, but there is a quote by somebody who's years ago who said, nothing will change in 5 years except for the people you meet and the books you read.
Yes.
That's the nugget of truth right there. Your life won't change at all except for the people that you meet and the books you read. And that can go the opposite way swing as well too, because if you spend a lot of time with people that are negative and telling you can't do anything or you're never going to succeed, and you're not in this place, you're not supporting yourself, you're going to go the opposite way. So it really is. I mean, nothing changes except for the development that we implement into our life, which is so huge. I hear from women all the time, just that same thing. It's like, I don't know where to go from here. Like, how do I move forward? And it's small steps with intention, you know, like, again, messy action is better than no action. Like, doing something is better than not doing anything. So true. So tell us, this is like the one question I'm sure everybody wants to know. And my inquiring mind would like to know, and I'm sure all of our listeners would too, but what do you wish you had known when you started out? There's people ask me all the time, especially in one of my companies, called the Innovative Maker, where we train creatives, to start, run, and scale their businesses. They're always like, what do you wish you would have known? So please tell me now so I don't have to walk through all that. And I'm like, well, I mean, I can tell you, but unless you experience and are really willing to implement those things, a lot of times people have to go through the hard things themselves. But what do you wish you had known when you started out that maybe would have saved you some time and energy and have less tears, you know?
Yes. And, you know, there really is a lot of things, right? Because those are part of how we grow, is hitting those things that don't feel good and using them not as failures or as stumbling blocks, but using them to grow you. Yeah. So there really is a lot. But I could tell you something that I struggled with personally, and I even used it in my creation of my planner, was the balance of doing a business from home, being a wife, being a mom, trying to figure out, 7, how to juggle all of this. And nobody told me how. And so what I found myself doing was either all my extra time is going to my business, and then I would have that mom guilt of, same thing with you. It's like, Mom, you know, can you pay attention? Can you put your phone down? Can you come watch a movie? And then going, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. And so then all my time would go to my kids, and then my business would dwindle, and I would have that guilt, like, why are you letting your dreams fade away? Or I would look around my house and be like, if somebody came over right now, I would be so embarrassed, right? And it was all these things, or myself, like I would lose myself. And so learning how to balance, and for everybody, it's really different. Everybody is really a dance. And again, in your lifetime of even just your year, that can change. Like a lot of times my life revolves around high school sports in terms of my routine. But what I've learned and what I kind of implemented into my planner is what I kind of nicknamed and what I call my 5 FABS goals. And it's a way that I created for myself to make sure I was doing that balance of my life. And so the F stands for family, of course, family time. And so what I have and what I do personally is in my daily planner and my every day, there's a list that I can fill out of what I'm going to do for my 5 FABS goals. And I can either break them down into daily, maybe 5, 15-minute tasks, or I can make them larger and put them throughout my 5-day work week. Because again, it's the magic number 5, right? So the F is for family. What am I going to do today to spend some intentional time with my family? And a lot of us, that might be sitting down at the table to eat dinner. That is such a crucial, important thing. But it also, you have to be intentional about it, because it's easy to go, here's this for you. I'm going to eat this over here. I got things to do, right? Or for me, even just every day, I try and just corner a kid and just kind of ask them, hey, what happened at school today? Tell me something funny, or tell me something that, you know, made you, you know, gasp, or did anybody do anything, you know, that made you sad today? And just have a few minute conversations that's very intentional and one-on-one. So that's the way that I kind of make sure that I cross that box off every day. Did I do my family time? A is for activity, or being active. And so, you know, what can I do to move my body today? And of course that's exercise, right? Or it might be, I'm going to go out and garden, or one thing that I like to do is you can combine them, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to go for a walk and I'm going to take my teenager that doesn't want to talk to me. He's coming on the walk with me. So now I've clicked off the family and
double it up. Yep.
Right?
Use your time wisely, for sure.
Multitasking like a boss, right? So figure out how you can do that.
I did that last night actually, because my teenager is getting pretty sedentary in her in this whole coronavirus thing, and not wanting to get out. And one of the things that the school asked us parents to do is to get them moving every day for 30 minutes. So I was like, hey, everybody's going on the dog walk tonight. Everybody get your shoes on. We're all taking that dog for a walk. So being intentional.
Yeah. And then you get to have those fun, just spontaneous conversations and connections.
Yeah.
And then the third one is B for business. So you might go, well, I'm growing my business. That's why I'm purchasing your planner. That's why I'm listening to this. Why do I need to have business time? Well, the same kind of thing. You might have stuff that you do every day. You've gotten in a really good routine, but is there something that you can do where you spend an extra intentional moment on your business, and something that isn't maybe the everyday norm? So one example might be, in something I've started doing recently, is doing like batch content and creating images for my social media. And if I turn my timer on, and that's a pro tip for you, right? Turn your timer on and be super intentional for 15 minutes. You'll be blown away what you do.
Otherwise you get sucked into the social media vacuum, and you're there for 2 hours and you're like, what happened?
Ooh, I know, it's crazy. It's like a vortex. And so I'll create different posts and images in that 15 minutes. And that saves me so much time throughout the week, because I can just pull my phone, here's my image, boom. And so that might be something, just an example for a business balancing act.
Yeah.
And then the last two are both S's. One is spiritual. I mean, I really think having some type of spirituality in your life, and maybe you go to church, or maybe every day you're going to start your day with reading the Bible or scriptures, or for some of us, and again, I'm not anyone to tell you how to get that spirituality, but you might get out in nature. You might go for a walk. You might meditate. There's journaling exercises that are beyond spiritual, right? So taking that moment to have that every day does something good for your soul that really nothing else can do.
Yeah.
And then the fifth S is self-care, because y'all, self-care is not selfish. It's self-preservation, right? Holla.
And let me just tell you, as I was looking in the mirror this morning and having this realization that in this time where we are all locked in our houses and our movement is limited, right? We can go to the grocery store. We can, walk our dogs or our kids.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, for all those people, the hairdressers and the people that do makeup, and, if you're not that person who gets up and does your routine every day, this is like, I got messy hair, don't care, like month. And you're not intentionally like moving forward. And then you just feel like, even my husband was talking, he's just like, it just feels like we're in this twilight zone, this time of like this vortex that's opened up, and it's like people are eating all the time, and they're not caring. Our poor hairdressers are going to be booked for months after this because of all the things they have to fix. So I think that the self-care thing is so huge, especially for women, because we feel like some way it's like a selfish thing. And it's really an essential part of what helps propel us into being successful.
Yes. And so that's why I added it is, did you check that off today? And again, for each one of us, that might be very different of what that self-care moment looks like. But we all know ourselves, and what can we give ourselves as a gift? Again, even just for a few minutes a day that you go, I did that for me.
Yeah.
And for me, I lock my door in my bathroom. I turn on music or a podcast, and the kids know, do not come in my room. Like, I am having my moment of self-care. Yeah. I take my body lotion that I call my boyfriend, because girl, he is amazing. He has transformed my mom of 7 kids' body. And that's my self-care every night. I'm in there singing and I pretty much put it from my neck down and boom, self-care. I got it. So for everybody, it's different.
Yeah, for sure. But it's so important. It's so,
Yeah.
so important. So tell us a little bit about what makes you feel inspired to live your very best life, what your best self is. Like, what is it that, I know we've covered a little bit of it about it, but what helps you feel inspired to want to keep moving forward as a female entrepreneur, woman boss, a person that is going to be out making trailblazing. What is it helps you stay inspired?
I would say my morning routine.
Okay.
I have not, I am a born and bred night owl. So let me just preface with this. Okay. Like,
yeah, me too, girlfriend.
Even when I was putting myself through school, even with having little kids, I mean, I'd stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning because I had my own time.
Right.
Like, nobody's talking to me, and then I would wake up so tired. I get the kids off to school, and a lot of times I go back to bed. Like, how terrible is that? Like, how can you really have a productive day when that was my cycle?
Yeah.
And so I was very intentional going, okay, I'm going to create a morning routine. And it terrified me. It was a hard thing to do because I knew I'd have to go to bed early. And that was a new habit I had to do because I still needed my sleep, right? So I had to definitely know more like go to sleep that morning, right? And then I wake up now before anybody else does, and it's quiet and it's calm, and I get to claim my day before anybody else does.
That's good.
Instead of just like sitting in my bed at night, watching TV and going, this is my time, that's not productive.
Right.
And so my morning routine is my own, and it's kind of unique. And I'm actually going to be making a YouTube video about it.
Awesome.
Yeah. But the one thing that I do that inspires me every day, and this might sound kind of strange, but try it, is I wrote out what a lot of people might call your 5-year vision. I don't like to put a time limit on it. If you've ever read the book, A Happy Pocket Full of Money, it's not really about that. And if you can get through the first few chapters, it talks about like quantum physics. I'm like, this guy's insane, right? If you can get through those first few chapters, you start to realize how much that you can bring to your life if you focus on it. And so I finally wrote my again, 5-year vision, or I just call it my vision plan. And it's 3 pages long, and it's very detailed from when I wake up, what I'm doing, what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking, how I'm interacting with my kids, the smells around me, what I'm hearing, and everything I do that day, where I'm at, which is Hawaii, by the way. Right?
Well, who not and wants to be in Hawaii?
Right? And then how my day ends and what happens. So I'll turn on an app on my phone that has sounds of waves. And so as I'm sitting there, and every morning I rewrite that vision plan, and it's pretty much the same. Some little details might change, but every day I rewrite those 3 pages. And the visualization is so powerful, and I am just cementing it that this is where I'm going to be. And I believe it with all of my soul. And so I think that's something that really, it gets me out of bed before the sun comes up, or right when the sun comes up, which was never going to be my life. Right. But I'm excited to rewrite it. And that might seem weird, but it has done wonders for my mindset and where I know I'm going.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, before we wrap up, tell us a little bit about your business and what you're working on currently so we can all follow you. And then also drop us your Instagram or YouTube channel or whatever, however someone can find you.
Okay. So yes, I am working on my subscription box, and my websites are a little funky at this very moment. Depending on where you hear this, then they might be up and running, they might not. I hired an amazing website designer because just like you said, Shauna, you got to delegate. And I'm like, I cannot do this. So she is revamping my website and then also my site for my subscription box. And so what I'm super excited of, and again, what has taken me years to do, is I was not finding a planner that was really working for me in the sense that it was very focused on what I needed to do, but it was also very customizable. So it wouldn't be just maybe someone for in the direct selling. It's any entrepreneur is who it's for. And so I just started making my own and changing things. And it took a little while to evolve that this works or this doesn't. And I wanted something that was condensed and small because I had tried, and there's a lot of good planners out there. Please know I'm not saying anything
the
bad.
big planner that feels like you're carrying a wrapper keeper around.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to carry this, or I can't. Like, I've got diaper bags, I've got 2 car seats, like this thing's killing my back, right? Or there's so much in them that I felt like filling out this planner is going to take an hour of my day, and I don't have that time, right?
Yeah.
So my belief, and what I really hope the listeners start to look at, and please don't think this is your planner. Like, everything dings at us on here, and we don't need any more dinging. There's real magic that happens when you take your thoughts from your brain and you put it into neuronal connection there. Excuse my weird science here, but it makes real connections in your brain that this does not do. Okay. Yeah. So, and I feel like that if you have your planner and it is open on your desk, that you can go look at what are my tasks to do today to move my business and my life forward towards the goals and dreams that I want. If you have it closed, if you don't have that plan, then, you know, one of the fun things I like to say is a dream without a planner is just a wish. Like, you have to have a plan on how you're going to get there.
Right.
And so
a roadmap, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and it's customizable to you in your life where you are at that moment.
Yeah.
And so I wanted something small that I could put in my purse, something that if I didn't want all these extra things that I'm not particularly doing, I don't have to have them in there.
Yeah.
So that kind of spun off my planner. And then it really just launched into something really fun, which is the monthly subscription box system. And those have really skyrocketed because it's almost like another self-care, right? Like, we get a present in the mail for us.
Yeah.
Like, that just doesn't happen as adults anymore, right? And so you kind of treat yourself. It's also a tax write-off like a boss, right? Because what happens is every month you get your new planner pages for the upcoming month. So you always have a couple months in your planner so that you can plan ahead or write down doctor's appointments, those kinds of things. But then when you get your monthly subscription box, you get your next set of monthly planner pages. So when you're done with the ones that you are done with, you just rip them out, throw them in the trash, right? So your planner now is very, very small, very light, very easy to throw into any bag, or cute enough that you can carry it around with you and not be like, this huge monstrosity is like embarrassing, right? And then in that box, you get some fun surprises that are going to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. So whether it's some personal development books, office supplies, some self-care items, there's always 3 to 5 little surprises in there that are going to uplift you and guide you and just help you on that path. But it really does center around the planner system, which also comes with a follow-up system, because what I had found is it was so hard for me to follow up. And I'm one that I don't like to write something down on this planner page and then the next month I have to try and find those contacts and rewrite them in here. I'm all about saving time. So I created my own system that once you start a follow-up page or start a customer or a client or a prospect or whatever you want to call them page, that stays with your planner. It can move into a second binder that you get with your starter kit so that you never lose track of your prospects or your clients again, and you never have to rewrite them down. Like, that to me was massive. So that's kind of my baby right now that I'm super excited about and is on the brink of happening. It's just, you know how life goes, and it's hit some bumps, but it is so close to launching. I'm thinking, what is it, April? I'm thinking June. You know, by summertime. But I am having a pre-launch site come up, and I'm going to have 50, which way do I do that? Founding bosses, I call it. And they will get a very special box that is just filled with amazing things. I think I pinned it out. It's like $150 worth of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, for $39, right? And
Sweet.
so I'm super excited about who they are going to be. And then, of course, I have my Facebook group that goes along with that. So
Okay.
how will you find me?
Yeah, tell us how we can find you.
Really, it's the same name everywhere. So it's Marcy K Mom Boss, MARCYK Mom Boss. So whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you'll find my Facebook page. That's / Marcy K Mom Boss, and right from there is a link to my BYO Boss Life group.
Okay.
And so you can click on there, click to join. Same thing with YouTube, Marcy K Mom Boss. So if you can remember that, you can find me.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on our podcast. We're so glad that you joined us today. And thank you all for tuning in and listening to it, whether it is the audio version on the podcast or whether you are tuning in on our YouTube channel. Thank you for spending your time with us. Again, we hope that we've given you some actionable steps to your roadmap to success, and we will see you soon. Thanks, friends. Have a great day.
Bye. Thanks, Shauna.